One lease termination, one final signature, and suddenly the racecourse ground isn't just getting bigger, it's becoming the home Wrexham were always meant to have. Alright, Wrexham fans, if you love the Red Dragons like I do, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to tell you is the most significant moment in this club's infrastructure history since Reynolds and McElhenney arrived. Let's dive in. The Wrexham Supporters Trust have just agreed to terminate the lease on the Stock Ras. Read that again. The lease that's defined Wrexham's existence for decades is being ended. And it's not a hostile takeover, it's a partnership that proves this club does things differently. Here's what's happening. McLaren Construction are back on site. Diggers are removing a metre of earth from the cop end. The foundations for a 7,500 capacity stand are being prepared. Land has been purchased from Wrexham University. Negotiations with the Welsh Government are at advanced stages. The funding agreement with Wrexham Council is finalised. This isn't just stadium expansion. This is Wrexham securing their future, taking control of their destiny, moving from tenants to owners, while maintaining every protection that keeps this ground the home of the Red Dragons. When it's complete, the racecourse will hold over 18,000 supporters. International football will come to North Wales, and the oldest international stadium in the world will be ready for whatever comes next, whether that's championship football, European nights, or dreams we haven't dared speak aloud yet. But to understand why this moment matters so much, we need to go back to where this journey began. February 2021. Reynolds and McElhenney complete their takeover of Wrexham AFC. The club sitting in the National League, the racecourse ground needs serious investment, and there's this complicated situation. Wrexham don't own their stadium, the Supporters Trust does. That lease arrangement was created for protection. After years of dodgy owners and financial chaos, the fans secured ownership of the ground to ensure no future owner could asset strip the club. It was brilliant forward thinking that saved Wrexham from potential disaster. But it also created limitations. You can't just rebuild a stadium you don't own. You need agreements, partnerships, legal frameworks that protect everyone involved. Reynolds and McElhenney understood this from day one. They didn't fight it, they embraced it. They worked with the trust, not against them. That collaborative approach has defined everything that's followed. Season 1, under Hollywood ownership, National League champions. Season 2, League 2 champions. Season 3, League 1 champions. 3 promotions in 3 years. The racecourse's capacity growing from 10,500 to 12,600 with temporary stands as Wrexham climbed through the divisions. But everyone knew the temporary stands weren't sustainable. Championship football was coming. International matches were being discussed. The racecourse needed a permanent solution. Behind the scenes, massive groundwork was happening. Wrexham Council negotiating funding agreements, the club purchasing land from Wrexham University, discussions with the Welsh Government about acquiring additional land on Crispin Lane, planning permissions being secured, McLaren Construction being appointed. Then came the complicated bit, the energised power cable running through the COP site. You can't build a 7,500 seat stand with a live power cable in the way. Work began in April on a new substation to power the student residences. By late August, it was complete. The cable was removed, the pathway was clear. September arrived. Vehicles returned. The temporary stand was fully removed. Ground clearance began. This was really happening. But there was still one crucial piece missing: the lease termination. The Supporters' Trust called a meeting. The proposal was clear. Terminate the lease on the Stockkai Ras. Hand ownership to the club, but with absolute guarantees that the ground remains the home of Wrexham's men's first team. Think about what that moment must have been like. Trust members who'd fought for years to protect this club being asked to give up legal ownership of the one asset that guaranteed Wrexham's survival. The vote came. The members agreed, in principle, subject to maintaining specific protections. It wasn't blind faith. It was calculated trust built on 3 years of Reynolds and McElhenney proving they mean what they say. The club's statement said it perfectly. The club would like to thank WST members for their patience whilst these other matters were being finalised. Patience, that's the word that defines this entire process. No rush decisions, no power plays, just methodical, careful planning that ensures everyone's protected. Now here's where it gets fascinating. The new Cup stand already has planning permission for 7,500 seats. But due to national planning policy, Wrexham can only use 5,500 until Wrexham Council approves the capacity increase application. Once that's granted, the racecourse jumps to over 18,000 capacity. 18,000. Let that sink in. That's bigger than Burton Albion's Pirelli Stadium, bigger than Crawley's Broadfield, bigger than Carlisle's Brunton Park. This is proper championship infrastructure being built in a League One season. But here's what nobody's talking about yet. This isn't just about Wrexham matches. The partnership between the Football Association of Wales, Wrexham Gateway Partnership, Wrexham University and the club has secured commitment for international football at the racecourse in the near future. Wales playing at the Stockkai Ras, the oldest international football ground in the world, hosting its national team again. That's not just infrastructure development, that's historical restoration. Wrexham supporters reacted with overwhelming support. Social media exploded with excitement. This is the moment many had been waiting for since the Hollywood takeover. Proof that the long-term vision is real. The trust members' decision to agree in principle to the lease termination shows remarkable faith. These are people who remember the dark days, who fought to save this club when others had given up. Their willingness to move forward speaks volumes about how Reynolds and McElhenney have earned that trust. Local media coverage focused on the economic impact. The leader highlighted how an 18,000 capacity stadium generates matchday revenue that makes a genuine difference. It attracts better players who want to perform in front of bigger crowds. It creates an atmosphere that intimidates opponents. But more than that, this secures Wrexham's future, regardless of what happens on the pitch. If they stay in the Championship, the ground's ready. If they somehow push for the Premier League, there's infrastructure to build on. Even if results go wrong, they're not stuck with temporary stands and limited capacity. The international football commitment is massive. Wales matches bring media attention, economic boost, and global visibility. The racecourse hosting competitive internationals again would be poetic, the oldest international ground reclaiming its status. What happens next? Construction continues through winter. Foundations are laid, steel framework goes up. By spring 2025, it's potentially ready for the new season. Wrexham could start next season with over 18,000 capacity, renewed lease security and infrastructure that matches their ambitions. From supporter ownership to Hollywood partnership, from protection to progress, from tenant to owner. This is what Wrexham represents, a club that respects its past while building its future. The supporters' trust didn't surrender, they evolved. Reynolds and McElhenney didn't demand, they earned. And now the racecourse ground gets to be what it always should have been, a home worthy of Wales's oldest club. 18,000 voices, one Kop stand, our ground, our future. What do you think of the Kop development? Let me know in the comments. Hit like if you're buzzing for 18,000 capacity racecourse, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Reds.